January 23rd, 1989. A man sits inside a Florida prison cell. He has less than 24 hours left to live. For over a decade, he denied everything. 30 murders, 30 families, 30 unanswered questions. But tonight, for the first time, he is ready to talk. His name is Ted Bundy. And what he confessed that night changed everything we thought we knew about him. To understand what Bundy confessed, you first need to understand what made him so dangerous. Ted Bundy wasn't the monster people imagined when they heard the word serial killer. He was handsome, educated, charming. He worked at a suicide hotline. He studied law. People trusted him. Between 1973 and 1978, Bundy traveled across the United States. Washington, Oregon, Utah, Colorado, Florida. Everywhere he went, young women disappeared. He used a fake arm sling, a fake police badge. Sometimes he simply asked for help carrying books to his car. And that was enough. Investigators had no idea they were dealing with one man, because no one believed one person could cause this much damage across so many states for so many years without getting caught. Ted Bundy was the ghost that no one was looking for. On February 15, 1978, Bundy was pulled over for a routine traffic stop in Pensacola, Florida. He tried to run. The officer tackled him to the ground. After years of killing, it was a simple traffic stop that ended his freedom forever. At trial, Bundy did something almost no defendant ever does. He represented himself. He cross-examined witnesses. He flirted with jurors. Even facing the death penalty, Ted Bundy wanted control. He was sentenced to death twice. And for years, he said nothing. No confession, no apology, no details. He maintained his innocence so convincingly that some people, even some investigators, began to question themselves. They didn't have the wrong man. And deep down, Bundy knew it. January 1989. Bundy's execution was now days away. Every appeal had failed. Every legal trick had been exhausted. For the first time in his life, Ted Bundy had no way out. That's when he made a decision. He agreed to meet with detectives from Washington, Utah, Colorado, and Idaho. Men who had traveled hundreds of miles to Florida, carrying files on unsolved cases, missing women, unidentified remains, families still waiting for answers. This became known as the Bundy Summit. Detective Dennis Couch of Salt Lake County was one of the men who sat across from him. He described Bundy as calm, almost disturbingly calm, as he discussed the murders. He looked at him and said, "The senselessness of it appalls me, although I'm sure not as much as those who are so close to it." A man describing his own crimes as senseless, as if he were a spectator, not the killer. On the day of his execution, Couch received one final call from the Florida warden. Bundy confessed to one more murder. A 15-year-old girl named Susan Curtis. She had vanished while attending a youth conference at Brigham Young University. Bundy said he buried her near Price, Utah. Her remains have never been found. So what did Bundy actually confess to? 30 murders, that was his number. 30 women killed between 1973 and 1978. But investigators believe the true number could be much higher, possibly over 100. He described a dark entity inside him, a destructive force that grew from within. His words, not mine. He claimed it started with violent pornography, that it fed on isolation, on obsession, on darkness. FBI profiler Bill Heigmeyer spent hours with Bundy in those final days. He later said the confessions confirmed many things investigators had suspected, but also raised questions no one had ever thought to ask. And here is the part most people never hear about. Bundy's confessions were vague, deliberately vague. He gave details, but not all the details. He named victims, but not all of them. He described locations, but never precisely enough to find the bodies. Even in confession, Ted Bundy was still playing a game. Even his own lawyer admitted it. The sole purpose of the confessions was to delay the execution, to buy more time. It didn't work. But here is the question that haunts investigators to this day. What did Bundy take to his grave? He confessed to 30 murders, but some researchers believe he began killing as early as the 1960s, possibly as a teenager. He never addressed those years, not once. 3 women from Utah, Nancy Wilcox, Debbie Kent, and Nancy Baird, vanished without a trace. Bundy confessed to some, stayed silent on others. Their families are still waiting, decades later. Still waiting. And then there are the letters. Written from death row in 1986, 3 years before his execution, Bundy wrote, "I have no guilt, remorse, or regret over anything I've done. What's done is done." These are the words of a man who felt absolutely nothing. On January 24, 1989, at 7:16 in the morning, Ted Bundy was executed at Florida State Prison. Outside, a crowd had gathered. Some cheered. The man who used charm to destroy 30 lives died in a room full of strangers. 30 confirmed victims. An unknown number still unconfirmed. Bodies never found. Families still without closure. Ted Bundy confessed just enough to feel powerful one last time, and not a single word more. That was Ted Bundy until the very end. In control. Even in death. Subscribe to SCELUX for a new case every week. Because the truth is always darker than fiction.